This is the 10th card that we've looked at in this set. There's only 2 left that we haven't examined. And I'll tell you, the history contained in this small set of a dozen ABA All-Stars has just really been fascinating. This is number 10, Bill Melchionni. It's another card that really shouldn't be overlooked. So Bill Melchionni has something in common with Rick Barry, Dr. J, and Tom Thacker. Now, I know you might not be familiar with Dr. J, but Tom Thacker, there you go. Those 4 players, though, Rick Barry, Dr. J, this Bill Melchionni, and Tom Thacker, they have an achievement, the 4 of them, that no other basketball players have. They're the only 4 players to win both NBA and ABA championships. They're the only 4. Rick Barry, Tom Thacker, Dr. J, Bill Melchionni. So this Bill Melchionni, now he's a player in this particular set of cards who did something a little uncommon. He jumped from the NBA to the ABA. Now you could probably guess, even if you haven't watched other videos of cards from this set, that the more common move was starting off in the ABA and then later making the jump to the NBA for a variety of reasons. But yeah, Bill Melchionni from the NBA to the ABA usually is in the opposite direction. So, the NBA and ABA championships. Here's how. The NBA championship, that was with the 1967 Philadelphia 76ers. Heck of a team. Wilt Chamberlain there. So there's your NBA championship for Bill Melchionni. He was on that team. Here's the problem. While he was in the NBA, he was sent to the minor leagues. And the ABA was just starting up at the time. So you can imagine he found a more meaningful role there than sticking around in the minor leagues in the NBA. So he jumps over to the ABA with the New York Nets. And here he really has the opportunity to contribute to the team. A much better role for him than probably just sitting on the bench in Philadelphia or the minor leagues, you know? So, with these New York Nets, he really did well. 3-time ABA All-Star. Yeah, hence his inclusion in this set of cards. It is an ABA All-Star set. He led the ABA in assists 3 times. That was 1971, 72, 73. So this being a 70-71 set, you can see at the time of production, he's really, it's a strong showing in the ABA. He's certainly not a nobody. All-Star leading the league in assists. Now his championships in the ABA, that's 1974 and 76. And during his time in the ABA, he played with Rick Barry and Julius Erving. So there you go. That takes us right back to that original statement where he is one of only 4 players, Rick Barry, Dr. J, Bill Melchionni, and Tom Thacker, to win both NBA and ABA championships. Can you imagine playing on an NBA championship team with Wilt Chamberlain, then an ABA championship team with Dr. J? That's great. There was an interview with him later in life where you can imagine, those are some memories right there. And he did mention that. He said that winning championships with both Julius Erving and Wilt Chamberlain was just very special to him. I can't imagine. But great history. Really neat history. A little bit more. If you're interested in the team, and the team name in particular, the New York Nets, well, you need to know that there's not that many years that that exact team name existed, New York Nets, a little bit less than a decade. That team started in the ABA in 1967. It wasn't the New York Nets. They were the New Jersey Americans. So then that team moved to Long Island, and that's when they changed the name to the New York Nets, 1968. So there's the beginning. That's where you first get that name. You know why they chose the name New York Nets? It's because it rhymed with the Mets and the Jets. I'm not kidding. I mean, that's literally a huge part of why they're called the New York Nets. So that team merged into the NBA in 1976. So 1968, 76, New York Nets. And very shortly after that, they moved to New Jersey. They were the New Jersey Nets. Now, if you're a fan of more modern basketball, you know the Brooklyn Nets. That was 2012. But they were the New Jersey Nets for quite a while there. So a little history of the team name. You might have seen some of my other videos of cards in this set. If so, you know all of this information. But if this is the first time you're looking at one of these cards, you need to know that they're not really cards. They're 5x7 pieces of paper. They do have some character, though, because the paper, this is vintage 1970 paper there. You see, when you hold it against a plain white sheet of computer paper, you can see the difference. So, they're not, how to say, completely boring in that respect. The backs of the card, as you saw when I was flipping it around, they're completely blank. So with numbering, we've just been going alphabetically by last name. And there's just a nice simplicity to these cards. You got your photo, player name, and team name. That's all. 12 All-Stars from the ABA. Rick Barry's your highlight, card number 1. Even going alphabetically, if you're really an avid basketball fan, you might recognize some other names like John Brisker. But really, for those willing to explore, spend some time, it's a really great set in terms of history. In this particular card, I mean, that tidbit of trivia there, one of only 4 players to win an ABA and NBA championship. It's a reminder, be grateful for even the common cards in your collection. There's a lot of fun, a lot of history in every single card that you have. There really is. So, hope you enjoyed looking at that. Bill Melchionni, 1970-71 ABA All-Star 5x7 picture pack. We have videos on 10 of these now if you're interested. But I thought this was a neat one. Neat piece of trivia. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.